Celebrate the month of July with true patriots who embrace our country's true loves: booze, guns, sex, and music. Shotgun Rebellion is a proud sponsor of Popp Culture, and you can buy their albums anywhere and everywhere music is sold. At least until Big Tech decides they're evil bigots. Weh? So check out those links in the description and play it loud.
What's going on out there, you bastards? Terrence Popp here, Redonkulous.com. And Good Pop showed up, so guess what? You're still gonna need the menagerie of booze. Because today I have good news, and the penis in the corner, but you just disregard that. Over the past 6 years, I have received many requests for this video. And these requests have come in from all ages, from 17 to 70. Every race, every creed, and every color. Oh, it just got dark in here. They're either young and they haven't even started their life yet, or they're dudes out there like me, and we all know what that's like. You survived the crash-up derby on fire, and you rolled out on your rims. And you're like, holy fuck, I still have to finish this race. Speaking from experience, gentlemen, even when you think you have lost, you could still win. So I'm here today with a menagerie of booze to teach you how to find your value. I know it sounds oh so simple, but it's not. Today's men in the Western world don't know their value at all. And why? Because half of them are raised by women. Wah. You want to know what happens to kids raised in fatherless homes? Hey, we already did the work for you. Links in the description. They usually wind up in one of 5 places, and we're gonna count them off. Number 1, the poorhouse, because most of these individuals, they live in poverty. And number 2, the crack house, because single mothers raise the majority of the country's drug addicts. And number 3, the crazy house. They wind up on head meds or institutionalized. Number 4, oh, look at that, jail. Single mothers raise the majority of violent criminals and rapists. And they say the problem is toxic masculinity. Well, I say there wasn't enough of it. And that's why this is the only finger left. And this finger, and you know what this is? The cemetery. Over 60% of youth suicides, fatherless homes. That is actually 5 times the national average. I know you're wondering what I'm gonna do with this. Well, single mothers, they love a lot of that, if you know what I mean. More cock! And why? These kids didn't have a father at home to teach them how to live in the real world. Instead, they had a mother who taught them feels before reals, right? Wah. And they teach their sons that they will not have any value unless they are of service to a woman. And that's where you get all these college students who've been fed way too much soy and don't have any common sense. If you can find and develop the power within, which is the hardest part, you can take that power with you into the real world. Confidence is 9/10 of the battle. If you walk into a room and you believe you own it, chances are you do or you soon will. And that simple fact is what separates the alphas from the betas. With that being said, pour your menagerie and drink with me. And put on your backpacks, because we're gonna go find your goddamn value. Yeah. And number 1, and this one sounds so easy, make shit happen. Doing nothing is a one-way ticket to, you guessed it, mediocrity. Or some of us like to call it socialism, screen 5. If you can make shit happen, even if it's a small thing, you can build on that. And eventually, you'll be able to make anything happen. You know what they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. In fact, it was almost burned down several times, but it's still standing. Number 2, and this one is very difficult. It was for me at least. Conquer your fear. Even FDR, and he was a raging sack of socialist assholes. He understood this. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself, right? Sounds so easy. Remember when you were a kid, riding that little bike with the training wheels? What went through your mind when your mama came out and said, we're taking those off today? You're like, holy shit, you're gonna take off the training wheels. What if I fall down? What if I get hurt? Wah! But what happened when you finally learned how to ride that bike for the first time without the training wheels? You conquered your fear, and you replaced that fear with something way better. Accomplishment, motivation, and exhilaration. Put those 3 things in your gas tank, and you can drive anywhere. And number 3, and this one feeds into fear. And this one sounds simple, but it's really not. You have to stop doubting yourself. Doubt is a chain that holds you back. If you can break doubt at its weakest link, it'll set you free. But if you don't break that chain, it's attached to an anchor, and we know where anchors go. Or worse than that, it's not actually attached to an anchor. It's attached to an anchor chick. We've all seen that chick in the bar, that one fat fatty dancing with a group of hot chicks. And her only job is this, to beat off all the men to keep her friends from getting laid. We've all been that guy, the wingman that had to fall on the fat grenade. Luckily, that's the grenade that blew up long before you even showed up. And I made a video about it. Here it is. Check it out. I'm not saying you can't have fun with these women, because a lot of them can start a leaf blower. Number 4, quit quitting. In fact, that's the only time you should quit. You hear me, you quitting motherfucker? Being in the military, we had another word for quitting, and that word was surrender. Men who know their value and have their power don't quit. They just push on through. Quitting stops all forward momentum, and the only 2 things that can happen is a burn-in on a spiral down, or you get knocked back.
The fastest way for Murphy to stick it 3 feet up your ass is to work for the man. So get the hell out of corporate land. Leave the cubicle life behind and destroy the leftist blitzkrieg with cunning wizardry. Available now in paperback and ebook. A link is in the description.
Number 5, and people will tell you you can't do this, but it's bullshit. You can do it alone. It might hurt like hell, it might take longer, but you can fucking do it. Hey, don't get me wrong, company is nice, especially when it'll bang you and then just leave. But it's not necessary. For a man, screen 5. Oh yeah, I can hear all of the feminist harpies blowing a fucking load right there. Well, I don't care. Women tend to find their value in 3 different ways. Being a wife, being a mother, or having a career. Wah. And no matter what feminism tells you, you cannot achieve 100% satisfaction with all 3. If you choose career, you can get 100% satisfaction out of that. But if you focus on your career, you're probably not going to be a good wife. And if you focus on your career, guess what? Daycare is raising your child. And guess what, ladies? You're going to hate me for this too. Careers don't last forever. But you can be a great wife and mother at the same time, and you can do that till you die. And all the studies that have been done by non-biased sources agree with this. Links in the description. I hate to be the one to tell you this, ladies, but men are not shackled by this. History provides countless examples of dudes that got on their feet and accomplished something alone. Now, I'm not saying there wasn't a woman here or there who showed up to, I don't know, get their tonsils buttered. Me personally, I took 7 years off from relationships, but that doesn't mean I didn't butter tonsils from here to New York, because I did, screen 5. Now, I know you don't have any proof about what I'm saying, but that leads us directly into number 6. You don't ever have to prove shit to anyone but yourself. Unless you're in a job interview or arguing with a libtard, because in that instance, all the logic and reason's probably not going to help you. In fact, they will reject your reality and substitute their own, those delusional fucks. Number 7, do not give in to weakness.
You can't give in!
Because when you do this, what you're really doing is negotiating with evil, and that doesn't end well for anyone. You individuals out there suffering from LOP, which is lack of pussy, you know all about this. You find yourself actually contemplating banging some chicks that you would never even masturbate to in private. You have to drink these women up from a 4 to an 8. That's anywhere from 4 to 6 beers or 4 to 6 shots. And I made a whole episode about this phenomena. Here it is, check it out. And why? You haven't gotten your piece of pussy in quite some time. And they're willing. Wah. But remember this. If they're willing to do it with you, they're probably just willing. And watch out. You better put a rubber on that thing or you're going to probably catch yourself a bad case of herpetogonosyphilis. And that's where you get the 2 shots in the butt, some pills, and a harsh talking to by your doctor. I don't know anything about that. Oh, Space Ghost is on. Now listen, don't get me wrong. When you're trying to find your value, there's gonna be setbacks galore. But number 8, hold that line. Listen, when shit gets tough, it's easy to quit or run away. Don't do that. Every time you take a step forward in your life, in your mind, that is your new starting point and you don't go back. Life, reality, and the people around you are going to be pushing against you. You hold that line in the sand. Very few people can actually do this. Be one of the few and be bigger than the sum of your parts. And number 9, I think I covered this in an episode called Man Rules. Check it out. Keep your word. When you say you're going to do something, then fucking do it. And on top of that, you keep other people to their word also. Most Western men do not keep their word because they're raised by women. And we all know you never loan money to a woman. Women, they can afford to quit because there's an ocean of white knights out there just waiting to ride to the rescue. Can we help you? Wah. But you're gonna love this. They teach their own sons how to quit, and no one is gonna ride to their rescue. The only people that are gonna ride to your rescue are men like me. And we're not gonna carry you, but I will kick your ass across the finish line. And number 10, and I don't want to come across as a self-help book here, but just existing is power. You, right there, yeah, you're a resource. Know this and use it for yourself. Focus on improving your life and your confidence, and the rest of the world will follow in suit. Maybe not the world as a whole, but the world that you know will improve. And why is that? Because now you're approaching it with a better attitude. I know you're wondering, if I focus on myself, am I selfish? Well, in this instance, no, you're not. Because this is about finding your value, your innate value. And if you derive your value from other people, they can take that away. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, child support, and was homeless. Space Ghost. Number 11, and I don't care who you are, everyone has the talent. Find it, focus it, and use it. You want to know who's really good at this? And I'm going to give you a boatload of credit here. Women. But there is a problem here because, ladies, you all have the same talent, which makes you about as valuable as, I don't know, water in the ocean. You want to know what that talent is? I'm going to tell you. 1 word, 3 syllables. Vagina. And if you think it's not a talent, I'm gonna have to call bullshit because men pay handsomely for it. Even if it's worn out and wart infested, there'll still be 1,000 dudes waiting in line to walk through that goddamn haunted house. Number 12, believe in yourself even when no one else does. And why? Number 14.
Wait, just a minute. What the hell happened to number 13?
Maybe it's like them tall buildings, Stewie. Yeah, none of those joints has a 13th floor.
This is redonkulous, not a fucking elevator.
Yeah, whatever. The guy's got brain damage. What the hell do I care?
These swinging Richards can't even keep the numbers straight. Bitches.
Most people want you to be less. They do not want you to make your potential. And they do this because they don't believe in themselves. They haven't found their talents, and they have no purpose. So they make themselves feel better by holding you back. Remember this when the naysayers come calling. They are miserable fucking failures, and they know it. And the only way they can make themselves feel better is to make you fail too. And to all of my exotic fans out there, hey, it's get dark in here. Why don't you remember that at the voting booth? If I listened to all of the miserable assholes out there who tried to keep me down, I wouldn't be here. I'd be fishing French fries out of the deep fryer at McDonald's, hoping that one day I could work my way up to the register. If I had a nickel for every person that said, you'll never make it in the Army, you can't make it in the infantry, you'll never make airborne, you'll never be a ranger, you'll never be special forces, you can't fucking fight your way up to a world title, I would be retired. Oh wait, that's right. I am Screen 5. Not only did I do all that, I accomplished it by doing this to all those people who said I couldn't do it. And make no mistake, that is a goddamn long list of people. And every time I take my daughters to Dairy Queen for some soft serve, I see one of those guys there. Number 15, find your purpose. We all have one, even if you haven't found it yet. But here is the bad news. Few can find it, and fewer still have the guts to do it. And you want to know why? Finding your purpose is a long, miserable road where there's suffering, terror, fear, and loathing. And not just in Las Vegas, even though I liked it and I thought it was a trippy movie. I found my purpose, and I know to you guys out there it looks like it's all booze and Screen 5s and laughter. But the road to get here was long and thick, and they didn't use any lube because I ripped up some shit on the way up. And when it was all over and they pulled out, my wallet and kids were impaled on the end of it. 16, and I'm gonna call on my friend Admiral Akbar to explain it to you. Satisfaction is your enemy, and why?
It's a trap!
Satisfaction leads to complacency, which leads to laziness, which leads to inaction. Unavoidably, inaction traps you in the storm of mediocrity. All of the great storms, they have an eye where it's nice and calm, and you kind of like it. But the surrounding storm is ripping shit apart. Don't be satisfied, even in the eye of the storm, because remember, the fight is not over.
You ever look around at all these blue-pilled mother fornicators pretending to be morally outraged and think to yourself, you're nothing but a bunch of brain-dead zombies? Well, what if they were? From the director of the second to last worst day of my life comes After the Day, where a red-pilled man faces down a zombie apocalypse with facts, logic, reason, and a big fucking gun. You can watch the trailer and donate to the project on Indiegogo. A link is in the description.
17, and this one is a tough red pill for people out there to swallow. No one is going to give you your shot or time for you to get your shit together so you can make your shot. You have to make it happen, and guess what? You might have to do it all alone. And most importantly, do not wait around fun-jacking your shitbox waiting to get the shot. There will always be a reason for you to not take your shot. But each reason is an excuse, and each excuse is another nail in your coffin. Seize the day. Make it happen. Be the engineer of your life. Do not hold yourself to other people's expectations, because when you do that, you will forever be their slave. You know who taught me that one? Robin Williams, and I still miss that mother fornicator, and I made a tribute to him. Here it is, check it out. Number 18, which means it's legal to bang but not drink, and I went through all my booze. And I don't know if you saw this, but we have a man down. Please, gentlemen, check out the links below: Patreon, PayPal, Subscribe Star, because this bar isn't going to stock itself. When you're knocked down, get the fuck up, even if you have no plan, because in reality, life doesn't give a shit if you have a plan or not. Even if you were caught completely by surprise and it was a sucker punch. There is no referee in life. You're not going to get an 8 count. Hell, you're not even going to get a 10 count. You're going to get stomped out. No one's going to throw up a penalty flag and say, hey, game over, stop. Like Rocky says, not you, me, or anyone is going to hit as hard as life.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
That is how winning is done. Anything less is simply this: you're stealing from yourself.
Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody.
Feminists and Democrats do that, otherwise known as cowards. Don't be a coward. And number 19, and I mentioned this one in my book, The Warrior's Way and the Soldier's Soul, links in the description. Be the man that no sane man wants to fight twice. I am that guy, and I have won some professional belts being that guy. I've been the guy who shows up at the fight, and the opponent leaves. They show up for the tournament, and they go, oh fuck, I gotta fight that guy. Space Ghost. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about actual violence or administrative violence. In fact, I made 2 videos about administrative violence. Here they are, check them out. When you shake someone out of their comfort zone, they will never forget you. And that explains why I have over 1 gigabyte of hate mail screen 5. And that brings me to the last one on the list, but it's the most important. If you can get on your feet, if you can move anything in this world, that is true power. You might not believe this, but you already have it. You have true power. And I'm not talking about perceived or theoretical power. I'm talking about actual power. Look at how the media and society treats men. The proof is in the pudding. We said it before, number 14. People want you to be less so they can feel better. And that's why they refer to men as either evil geniuses or worthless twat knuckles. If you're a white man in this society, apparently you're responsible for all of the evil all over the planet. You're some type of evil genius who's weaponizing his toxic male privilege to poison the world.
So we have to stop demonizing people and realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men.
But even though we're evil geniuses bent on world domination, somehow we're too stupid to see it. How do you reconcile those 2 schools of thought? Wow, I'm just asking. Look at how the media talks about our president. There you go. He's either an evil genius who's going to destroy the world and plunge us into a Great Depression, or at the same time, Orange Man bad. He's totally inept and can't do anything correctly. I know one is always bigger than another, but could you please pick a side? We as men are usually treated the exact same way. And you want to know why they want to make us feel that way? Because we have the power. We as men have built this civilization from nothing. Now, did women help? Hell yeah, they did. But they helped by recognizing the differences between men and women. Men and women have had biologically dictated gender roles since the beginning. And it was adhering to those gender roles that got us where we are today. Feminism came along and decided they were going to fuck with that, and now our society and culture is burning in. Their goal is to systematically destroy the nuclear family. And Sophie Lewis, pure evil in human form, actually admits this.
In the history of feminism, abolishing the family was, very well known as a demand, particularly in the 60s and 70s.
She wrote a whole book on it. Links in the description.
There's a certain forgetfulness, I think, that's taken place on the revolutionary and radical left about family abolition. I think we've forgotten how to dream that big.
So when feminism looks you in the eye and says, oh, we're for men too, I have one word for you. Bull fucking shit. Might have been 3 words with a couple of hyphens, but you know what I mean. Bottom line, gentlemen, your value, it's already there. You just have to recognize it and find it. It might be buried down there under a boatload of social conditioning by women, but it doesn't make it any less real. And if you want more help finding your value, please hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're notified when we make new future videos. And if you don't, that's just fine. Keep drinking and eating all that soy, because your mama's gonna get my bazooka juice. There is. I mean, literally, I've seen this chick, big tits, you know, fucking, I need help. You can literally hear the, as the fucking Mongol horde of white knights comes over the ridge.
Flight of the Valkyries from Apocalypse Now.
I know, it's like, get the fuck out of here.
They're riding in on soy horses and unicorns.
But still, it's just a whole Mongol horde of white knights charging to the rescue.